5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thunderbirds are go.
Hello, this is Vaughn Coulter, and this is Fan Moguls. Today, I have a very special guest sitting with us today, and he's a significant guest because he and I share the same fandoms. Let me introduce to you author, writer, producer, Anthony Taylor to Fan Moguls.
Hey, Vaughn, it's great to be here.
Man, I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here. Good to see you guys at the convention, and good to sit down and kind of talk about some of the things that we love.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. We're going to be talking about right now. What? Thunderbirds.
Our go.
Yes, celebrating its 50th anniversary. So, Anthony, we're at the point now, 50 years have gone by when we last heard Jeff Tracy say,
Thunderbirds are go.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So, how did you first get involved in the Thunderbirds?
My first exposure to them was via HBO here in America. My parents had it when we were very young. It's like 76, 77. And the film versions, Thunderbirds Are Go and Thunderbird 6, that Jerry Anderson did, would be played on HBO over and over and over and over. And I would watch them obsessively. And that really drew me in. And so I started looking around, and I found some of the die-cast metal toys and stuff, and I loved those. And magazine coverage of Thunderbirds, and so eventually I was able to view the other episodes as they came back out and about into syndication in the 80s, and really loved them. Really, still one of my most favorite television shows of all time, and one of the hugest. It's a huge thing in Britain and in Europe, and then over in Japan. It just never kind of seeped into the USA the same way, but it seeped into me.
Yeah.
And you, clearly.
Absolutely, it sure did.
Yeah.
Mine began back in the 60s, of
Right.
course, when it was aired for those 2 seasons in 65 and 66. And as a 5 and 6-year-old, it was totally different than anything I've ever seen before.
Absolutely.
It wasn't like any cartoon or any other show that was being developed at that time. And it's funny because I remember that iconic beginning for that theme for ITC, which was
Sure.
which were the distributors of it at that time, and then that countdown.
Absolutely, it touched a nerve, and it kind of signaled that time to sit down and pay attention, because adventure was about to start.
Absolutely,
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
With that influence, how did it take off in your career as a writer and guide you in your path?
It was something that initially, as a kid, the design aspect of it, and the kind of the cool vehicles and the rescues and the production design, I couldn't have called it that when I was 7 years old, but I know that's what it is now. Really had a big influence on me and steered me towards art direction myself and graphic design. And then I moved into writing. And when I moved into writing, I wanted to write about those things that really touched me and that I had a real affinity for. And I found an outlet with some of the fan publications in Britain for Thunderbirds, and met some of the people that had worked on the series. There was a publisher called FTL Publications that had bought the rights to do original adventures based on the original series of Thunderbirds, and I think they thought, well, since he had written a nonfiction book that appealed to the same audience, he has some cachet with that audience. He has some fan recognition. And so they offered me the opportunity to write this book, which was, I think, the 7th in the series that they were doing. And they had delineated that each book would center around a certain character. So the character would be featured on the cover, and then the character would be featured in the story. Mine happened to be Brains, which was a character I was always interested in on the show, because he was the guy who created all the machines, and he was the engineering genius that really got them up and flying and able to do all the rescues they did and stuff. So I was really very happy about that. The book itself, which is called Arctic Adventure, was based on a pitch that I had put together to send to my friend Richard Taylor at What a Workshop in New Zealand, who had shown me some tests, some CG tests of the characters that he and Peter Jackson wanted to do for a new series of Thunderbirds. At the time that I pitched the episode that I wanted to do, it was really too early in the process. They didn't have the rights, and it took them another 6 years or so, 7 years to really get it going. So when I was approached by Joan Verba at FDL Publications, I said, I have a story of Thunderbirds that we could do, and then we can feature Brains in it, pull out a lot of character development for his character, and make him the center of the story, which we wound up doing.
Wow. You know what? This is a special moment. You have got to come back.
Okay, sure.
I want you to come back because this is a continuation. I have you here, and this wealth of knowledge is very, very important. And I know there's a ton of other stuff that I would like to ask you, but
Anytime.
come back with us, stick and stay, because we will continue this interview with Anthony Taylor. I'm Vaughn Coulter. This is Fan Mode.